What do you do when you don't believe in yourself? Have you had that realization or that thought? Like, yeah, I would love to, but I don't think that I've got it. What do you do about that? Well, if that's ever been something you've asked yourself, or if that's something you're asking yourself right now, I've got just the thing for you to not only answer that question, but to take that question out of your consciousness, throw it in the furthest reaches away from you, and for you to step in and embody this different kind of feeling and different kind of energy that will totally change the game. You want some of that? Well, come on, my friend. I've got a dose of vitamin D, Grant, that you do not want to miss. Hey, welcome to you. My name is D. Grant Smith, and yes, I am the growth farmer for personal development and spirituality and confidence. And I've really been moving into this place over the last month where shifting gears and focusing solely on, in a lot of ways, confidence and storytelling is a big part of where my energy is right now. And I'll tell you why. Because two reasons. First off, my confidence has gone to a completely, totally higher elevated level this year than it ever has before. And this year has also been more challenging, more difficult, and more trying than at any other point in my life. And yes, that includes 2017 when my whole world came apart. What are you talking about, dude? Well, I wrote a whole book about it. It's called Be Solid, How to Go Through Hell and Come Out Whole. I'll put a link in the description below. You can grab a copy of it, have the experience. So, what is the secret to changing how you feel about yourself, especially if you are aware that you don't feel very good about yourself and you don't believe in yourself? That was my story about 10 years ago. So yeah, let's jump in the DeLorean and head backwards into the past instead of the future. Interesting. Let's go back in time. I had achieved a whole lot of stuff in 2013, including I got my independent public radio show, The Appetizer, syndicated myself. Instead of hiring a expensive marketing agency and spending 30 or 40 grand on a big promotion campaign, I did all the hard work myself. I built relationships with people. And that's how I became a syndicated radio host, which, by the way, that principle and that method still works now. If you are in marketing or trying to grow anything and you want to excel at that, I promise you, build relationships with people. Send personal messages instead of blanket statements. It works. It worked for me 10 years ago. It still works for me now. And it works for everybody that's successful at doing things the independent, self-produced way. So, want help with that? I wrote a book about that too. It's called the DIY Musician's Radio Handbook. You don't have to be a DIY musician. You don't have to be interested in radio. The principles inside that book will help you. It's basically a condensed version of Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People in a more modern era. Anyhow, I had done all these great things in 2013. I hadn't written that book yet, but I was on 50 or 60 stations across the country and in Canada and a little bit in Europe. And I had won Radio Inc. magazine's Rising Stars of Radio, something that I thought would make me feel super awesome and that I thought would really launch my career into new places. But it didn't. And I know why. It didn't because I didn't believe in myself. And so even though I had achieved all of this success externally, my internal story was not one of success. I was telling myself a story that I wasn't good enough and that people didn't like me and that it didn't matter what I did, it was never going to measure up. Can you relate to that story? Is that a story that you've told yourself too? If it is, you're not alone. And if it is, you realize how debilitating and demoralizing that story is, how much it crushes your spirit and your heart, and also how much it makes seeking validation and chasing after somebody else's praise so that you feel even just the slightest little bitty bit better becomes almost like this drug addiction. And that was my life in 2013. And when I realized that I didn't believe in myself, I wanted to do something about it, but I didn't know what. And it would take me another year or two before I discovered the beautiful, wonderful healing work of Dr. Wayne Dyer. And Dr. Dyer was the first person to actually teach me about the power of affirmations. Now, I talk about affirmations fairly regularly, and I teach specific affirmations to my students and to everybody that works with me, and included in just about every sort of media product or book or whatever it is course that I create. Why is that? Well, because an affirmation is a statement that you're making all day, every day anyways, you might as well make something that empowers you and helps you believe in yourself. But where do you start? So here is one affirmation, the one affirmation for me that got me going in a different direction and got me believing in myself and heading in a direction of having confidence. It's very simple. I believe in me. Now, I teach people from all kinds of different walks of life and all kinds of different ages. Most of the people that work with me, well, let's be honest, all of the people that work with me in personal development, personal growth, and spiritual advancement are people that are over the age of 21. And some of them are also higher in age, 50s, 60s, 70s. I also teach younger people elements of storytelling, kids from age roughly 5 to 19 or 20. And I teach all of these people the exact same thing when we begin any of our interactions together. Very simple affirmation. I just gave it to you. I believe in me. When you don't believe in yourself and you want to change that, you start with the most basic thing, the thing that you're aware of not having, and you flip that script and you change that story. I realized that I didn't believe in myself, and I knew that the way to change that was to change that story. This was even before I had any idea of what self-concept was. I still knew that I wanted to believe in myself, and the best way that I could think of to do that was to do what Dr. Wayne Dyer told me and tell myself a different story through the power of an affirmation. Because all an affirmation is a one-line story. A one-line story, one-line statement that I want to believe, even if I don't fully believe it right now. That's the thing. The thing that some people struggle with regarding affirmations. They say, well, I don't believe that right now. So you tell yourself until you do, because you have been lying to yourself about all kinds of things for a very long time. If you have told yourself self-defeatist statements, self-loathing statements, self-hateful statements about not being good enough, not having what it takes, not measuring up, people don't care about you, people don't love you, you're never going to be good enough, whatever it is, you have been lying to yourself, because you, my friend, are made of love. You, my friend, came from love. You are a piece of God, which inherently makes you good enough, inherently makes you worthy, inherently makes you enough exactly as you are without having to prove anything to anyone. And if that statement alone, that realization alone doesn't give you confidence, then nothing else will. But if you struggle with believing in yourself, realize that what you believe is only something that you have thought and told yourself over and over and over again without realizing what you were doing. Because that's all a belief is. It's a statement that you've repeated over and over again until it's stuck inside you somewhere. And most of us get most of our beliefs, all of us get most of our beliefs in the very formative years of our lives, before we have any idea that we can put up some filters and some barriers and realize that things that some people say to us don't have to be things that we take on as our personal truth. So you want to change the way you feel, change the way you think. The mind is connected to the heart. And as Dr. Joe Dispenza has so perfectly illustrated, when we bring mind-heart coherence together, and our feeling state and our mental state are in harmony with each other, we send out a vibrational frequency that changes everything in our lives and gives us access to fields, quantum fields of realities and possibilities and opportunities that we can't see when we're in this limited place. And for me, this has helped me elevate my understanding of what confidence is and how to have it. And what I've been working on for the past few weeks, which is why you haven't seen me make as many videos here as I was, is a comprehensive, badass, awesome, supercharged, massively empowering dose of vitamin D grant in the form of confidence training. And you can call it a course if you want to, but here's what I've done. I've taken 2 programs that I made for confidence and I put them together, and I've added even more stuff to it, including an awesome book that will be your guidebook for this program. And I've even gone a step further, because a lot of us will buy courses because we want answers, we want change, we want to change things. So we buy a course thinking that the course is going to solve the problem. The course is never going to solve the problem, my friend. It doesn't matter what course it is. It doesn't matter whether it's Vishen Lakhiani's Mind Valley stuff, which is badass, by the way, or whether it's anybody else in the personal development, personal growth space, or any space for that matter. The course is never going to save you. You will, but you have to do the work that's inside the course. What most courses don't give you, though, especially the big name people, the big guru folks, unless you pay them a crap ton of money, they don't come alongside and work with you and walking with you through this process. I know because I bought a lot of courses, thinking that if I get the course, that's going to change my life. And I've learned a lot of stuff. I'm not trying to take anything away from courses or programs or training of any kind. It's all been beneficial. What's helped me the most is having that teacher come alongside me and work with me through this process. Even if it's just in one session, getting to talk with that person, ask personal questions, ask direct questions, get direct help and support, man, that's made all the difference for me. And when I realized that that's made all the difference for me, I want to give that to the people that I serve as well. And so I've created this program that I've linked down below. It's called Unleash Your Inner Lion, Awaken Your Confidence and Power, because there is a lion of confidence already existing within you. You just need to wake it up and access it. And alongside that program, I am offering you the opportunity for us to work together one-on-one in the same space, same time, for you to have support and guidance and empowerment in this confidence building process. Now, whether your confidence is at the absolute lowest or somewhere up above ground zero, or you're doing pretty well, but you want to take it to the next level, this will help you. Because when you realize and awaken that dormant force inside of you that is super-powered, awesome confidence, the world isn't your oyster. It's your ticket to go wherever you want to. That's been my experience this year. I hit a place in my own confidence this year that was pretty low. And it was because I couldn't see some things that were taking place within me. When that light came on, I knew exactly what it was that I had to do. I had to go back to where I'd come from and rebuild and step back into my power once again. And now that I'm in my power once again, actually it's supercharged on a level that it's never been at before. You can hear it in my voice and you can see it in my eyes. Want to have this kind of confidence? I want you to have it too. Jump into my program and let's work together in making you the super awesome, supercharged, powerful person that you came here to be. The version of love that your soul desires to embody. I want to help you do it. Jump down into the training with me right now. If this video impacted you in even the slightest little way, I ask that you do 2 things for me. 1, give it a thumbs up. And 2, drop down in the comments and let me know how it impacted you. And if you want to connect with me personally, maybe you're thinking about doing some of my training, maybe you're thinking about some of the growth farming stuff, but you're not exactly sure, I put my email address in the description below. Send me a message. Let's have a conversation about it, because I really am in your corner and I really do believe in you. And I really do know how to change your story so that you are living your best life. I believe in you. I love you. And I'll see you again very soon.